So sleep deprivation isn't just a hurdle in ultramarathons. It is a profound part of running ultramarathons. It is definitely an adversary worthy of respect. And thinking about prior to running ultramarathons, it requires strategy as much as any other part of running an ultramarathon. See, the allure of ultramarathon lies in this kind of dance with the darkness, this riding the razor's edge. And I think for those who are inclined, I know everyone wants to argue with me about when I say anybody can do this. When I say anybody can do this, I mean anybody who has a baseline of fitness, who wants to run an ultramarathon. There's a mental aspect that you have to accomplish, that you have to tackle in this sport. But if you want to, anybody who wants to do it can do it. There's no gatekeeper here. And that's what I mean by that. If you still disagree with me, leave your comment below. We can discuss it a little bit further. So ultramarathon runners face extreme weather, extreme terrain, like in bad water where it could be 47 degrees Celsius or like around 116 degrees. It's challenging out there. The physical aspect, the weather, the external stimuli can definitely be challenging, but we're here to discuss the mental aspect of sleep deprivation. What does that do to you? I know that it challenges me quite a bit, and like I said earlier, it's something that is not my favorite part of the sport. I dread going into the overnight. So sleep deprivation in ultramarathons is not just about just feeling tired. You're going to feel tired. I usually start to feel fatigue right around 12 hours, and I kind of dip down, and your body's going to go through the natural rhythms of sleep, your circadian rhythms and stuff as you hit the night. So you got to battle that kind of stuff. Here's what you're going to be up against in running overnight and multi-day races. So sleepiness, from mild weariness to overwhelming need for sleep. And I have felt that on trails where I just want nothing more than just to lay down and sleep on a rock. It is a constant battle. After 24 hours without sleep, the body's drive for rest can be as strong as the need for water or food. And I can tell you without a doubt, sleep causes me issues more than I say the need for water and food. When I'm tired, I remember running Yeti a couple years ago, the Yeti 100, and wanting nothing more than just to fall asleep, falling asleep while running. It was a struggle. It is a mental struggle. Your body's going through the rhythms of trying to go to sleep, and you're fighting it. So it's definitely a very strong battle. Lack of sleep impacts the neurotransmitter levels, leading to mood swings and irritability. I don't really get that. Now, in my normal life, yes. Around the holidays, like right now, yeah, irritability comes from comes from the sleep deprivation, but not too much in the races. I've never, I'm not really around enough people to be irritable. Mostly zombie-like. It could even cause some, signs of distress and depression during a race with the lack of sleep. Runners might even feel a sense of doom or hopelessness during the night, which is quite common. It is. That's why you don't want to look at your watch, because it starts to mess with you. If you're somebody who struggles with sleep deprivation issues, it's definitely challenging. So you try to do things just to tick off miles and minutes and hours just to get out of the night. So cognitive impairment, sleep deprivation definitely hurts you here. So decision making, memory, and your attention can all degrade significantly during 100 miles and overnight races due to this fatigue and sleep deprivation. Your ability to navigate and follow instructions, do math, trail math, is always an issue. It can become compromised, and you increase the risks of errors and accidents happening during this time. And I have a buddy that tried to go or wanted to go downstairs to a river that didn't exist. There's people that have wandered off through towns. Sleep deprivation and hallucinations can cause you to make dumb mistakes. I mean, even simple things like, taking your poles out in something you've put together a million times can be an issue. I had that in a race where I just couldn't figure out how to get my poles together. Just simple tasks like that become difficult when you are impaired from lack of sleep. So physical performance. Sleep deprivation can lead to a decrease in muscle coordination, slower reaction times, obviously, and reduced aerobic capacity, all which can directly impact your running performance. We all know that overnight we all slow down in races. That's what happens. Everything slows down. We expect it to happen. If you're able to fight all of this stuff and take advantage of this, it's definitely an awesome time if you're somebody who's racing or you're looking to better your time. It could be an area where you could pick up significant time, but again, sleep deprivation can up the risks associated with lack of coordination, decision making. So moving faster can just compound that type of stuff. So it could probably be diminished returns if you're trying to really take too much advantage of the night. Hallucinations. Hallucinations and ultramarathons is something we all talk about. If you run ultramarathons like 100-mile races and above, you probably experience these. I have myself. Nothing terrible, but I definitely remember seeing skull faces and bodies and on the trail and in the rocks and in the trees, seeing bridges over the trail that didn't exist in the woods. The feeling of kind of nodding off when you do this when you're driving, but that sense of like where you wake yourself up, that happens. And on certain trails, it can be extremely dangerous to have that happen. So, it's good to have pacers overnight to help keep you from getting yourself in trouble, decision making, taking a wrong turn down a trail, the wrong trail, and things like that. There's a lot of funny stories I won't go into about people hallucinating and thinking they're garbage men and they're there to pick up garbage in the mountains and stuff like that. They are kind of funny, but your body is falling asleep, so you're delving into that dream world while you're also awake. It's definitely it's fun to talk about after. It's not always fun during. But if you can keep your head and your wits about you, you kind of know that that's what you're going through. I did. I knew that I was hallucinating and was completely aware. Microsleeps. So these are kind of these brief, unintended episodes of sleep while you're running, lasting from a fraction of a second to up to 30 seconds. I mean, you could wake up on the side of the trail. Dirt naps are awesome. It's definitely a way of dealing with some of this stuff if it's allowed and if it's safe. But during microsleeps, a runner might continue moving, but with reduced awareness, and that is me. I definitely will continue running just completely asleep, not aware of anything around me. And you can wander off a course, and I run a lot of these races where it could be very dangerous if you go the wrong way or step off the trail. Your brain craves glucose. You got to keep your energy levels up with the right nutrition to combat this cognitive decline in races and trying to be aware as much as possible. Simple sugars can provide a quick energy boost, but complex carbs will sustain you longer. One of the strategies that I like is I deprive myself of caffeine most of the day. So when I do need it in the night, I'll try to take caffeine. Then taking caffeine and then taking kind of a power nap in these super long races is one approach to help you kind of combat that. And the feeling of when that caffeine hits your body is like no other. So that's definitely something you need to keep in mind. If you're taking in too much caffeine, you want it to work when you need it. Another way to combat sleep deprivation is kind of sleep banking. That's what I did before this last 100 is basically sleeping for extra hours 2 weeks out. So making sure that I'm coming into the race fully rested. I mean, because, we've all run these races and that it's terrible the night before typically to sleep. And so you're going to probably go into the race already sleep deprived. And it just gets worse throughout the day. So banking as much as you can. So most protocols suggest aiming for 10 hours of sleep per night, up to 2 weeks. If you can do that, I can't do that. I was trying to get at least 8 to 9 hours a night, occasional 10 if I can. My body just won't sleep that long. Mid-race napping. So I've never taken a nap during a race. I've never ran a race long enough. 100 milers, I've never needed it. If you can't afford it, napping is crucial, and understand the rules. Like I said, around sleep, there can be rules around that. So you want to choose a quiet area, safe spots, eat before your nap so your body can use that time to digest. Set an alarm or tell somebody at the aid station to look out for you, or have somebody in your crew have a set time that you want to sleep. Multi-day races like Cocodona 250, like you're going to have some sleep strategy around those. So it's definitely a good idea to plan that stuff out. Dirt naps. I've heard about these a lot, and I've wanted one so badly, but I've never taken one. But dirt naps, I've seen some elites use them, which is funny because they're out there racing at peak performance, and they just lay down on dirt, fall asleep for 5 minutes, and then get up and run. But for those races where sleeping on the trail is allowed, you want to find a safe area, a warm spot if you can. I think Jared Campbell at Barkley, he's run it 3 times, and he says his strategy for sleeping on the trails is to sleep in the most uncomfortable position so that he won't sleep long. And he even tells a story about where he fell asleep in like a tire track at Barkley that was filled with water so that he wouldn't sleep too long. And that it's kind of funny. But yeah, find a safe area. So running in the darkness is, it adds another layer of complexity and sleep deprivation. So not only are you declining mentally and physically, you're also running in more difficult areas. I mean, you're running in areas that are now dark versus light, and so your surroundings are much more difficult to navigate. So the night can be daunting, and you need to make sure you're paying attention to landmarks, where you are. If you can, get out to courses where you know it's going to be dark and kind of review that, whether or not be on the course description or maps, or actually physically going out to the area so that you can think about these things to kind of help you have that in the bank, so you can navigate and think smart about your navigation so you don't make mistakes. So during the night, you obviously want to slow down and maintain and conserve, or maintain safety and conserve your energy. You're going to be tired. It's going to be daunting. Like, the hardest part in hundreds for me is that overnight. You're dealing with pain and stuff like that, but just the dealing with the absolute wave of the need to sleep is just super daunting from a mental aspect. So, and they are transient. They're going to go away. Everything in ultramarathons is cyclical. Like they said, if you're feeling good, don't worry, it won't last. But if you're feeling bad, don't worry, it won't last. It's the same with being sleepy and tired. It will pass if you can just battle through it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching Motivation Theory Running in this kind of delve into the darker side of ultramarathons. If you're interested in more videos like this, you can go ahead and click right here and delve further into the dark side of running ultramarathons. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.